Stop telling everyone what's going on in your life. Yes, I know that might sound bold, maybe even harsh, but I want you to pause for a moment and truly feel the weight of that statement. Think about how often you share the private details of your journey. Think about the times you've scrolled through social media, drafting one post after another about every major milestone, every small victory, or even every heartbreak in a desperate attempt to be seen, heard, and validated. Now, I'm not here to condemn you or shame you. I stand before you with one purpose: to awaken you to the power, the dignity, and the peace you might be losing by handing over every fragment of your life to others. Because the truth is, when we constantly announce every thought, every goal, every pitfall, and every plan to the world, we often weaken our resolve and scatter our focus before we have truly begun to walk our path. And we are in an era where oversharing has become the norm, and the pull to broadcast our lives is strong. We feel that if we don't keep everyone informed, we might be labeled distant, irrelevant, or secretive. We feel that if our challenges remain untold, somehow they don't matter, or worse, we don't matter. But your value is not determined by how many people know your story. Your worth doesn't depend on how quickly you can post an update about your struggles or your triumphs. I want to talk to you about guarding your dreams, cherishing your progress, and respecting the delicate nature of personal growth. Because not everyone is meant to have a front row seat to your evolution. Some battles are meant to be fought in silence so that you can rise in strength without the clamor of external expectations. Take a moment now and ask yourself, why do you feel compelled to share every personal detail? Is it because of genuine excitement, or is it some secret need for approval and applause? Are you searching for a sense of belonging, a sense of mattering? Let's be real here. The moment we open up our lives to the scrutiny of others, we invite opinions that may not serve us. We invite doubt. We invite envy. And sometimes we even invite sabotage. The power of privacy, on the other hand, is extraordinary. When you cultivate your goals quietly, you maintain a certain strength and integrity in your pursuits. When you don't have to justify your every step or decision, you give your aspirations the fertile ground they need to grow without the weeds of outside commentary. I know some of you might be thinking, but Denzel, sharing my life helps me connect with others. It makes me feel less alone. I hear you. Community and support are integral to our human experience. But there is a difference between healthy connection and reckless exposure. Healthy connection is about seeking counsel from trusted mentors, confiding in genuine friends, and sharing selectively with people who truly matter. Reckless exposure is announcing your rawness to an unpredictable world that might not have your best interests at heart. We have to learn to discern, and that discernment starts with acknowledging that not everyone needs to know your story in its entirety. We all have that impulse to be known and understood. That's natural. But I invite you to harness your power. I invite you to question whether the stream of updates you give the world actually serves you, or if it's simply the result of a habit formed by the norms of our digital age. Let's dig deeper. Let's look at the consequences of constantly divulging our lives. And let's find constructive ways to protect the sanctity of our personal paths. Because real transformation demands a certain level of secrecy, a certain cocoon of focus, and sometimes the greatest breakthroughs happen behind closed doors. Now, I want to present to you the first guiding truth By constantly telling everyone what's going on in your life, you dilute the power of your purpose. Think about it. Every time you speak your big dreams out loud to an audience that may or may not care, you give away a piece of your momentum. It's like opening a bottle of sparkling water, letting that initial burst of pressure escape, and then trying to seal it back up. The fids, that spark of energy, that original thunder inside you, some of it evaporates. So what does that mean for you? Standing here right now with ambitions and hopes lined up in your heart. It means that sometimes silence is not just golden, it's empowering. It means that every time you post or proclaim or pronounce your next move, you risk giving your dream away to the winds of doubt, negativity, or distraction before it even has the chance to take root. I learned this lesson early in my career. When I was just beginning, I had an idea about where I wanted to go, about the impact I wanted to make. And I told people, I talked about it proudly, seeking reassurance that I was on the right track. Often people were supportive, but there were those who cast skepticism on my vision. They would say, You really think you can do that? Or, that's too big, too ambitious, maybe aim a little lower. Slowly, I began to internalize their doubts. When you announce your plans too soon, you might unintentionally open the door for voices that plant seeds of insecurity in your mind. The more I shared, the more I realized that some dreams need to be protected in their infancy. They need to be nurtured in an environment free from the cold draft of cynicism. That was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. If you share your goals too widely, too recklessly, you risk letting the noise of the outside world stifle the still, small voice of your own conviction. You might say, but Denzel, I want to hold myself accountable by putting my intentions out there. There's a place for that, absolutely. However, accountability does not mean broadcasting every single step to random strangers or casual acquaintances. Accountability can come from a chosen few. People you trust, people who genuinely believe in your potential, and people who hold you to a higher standard rather than drag you to a lower place. Seek out the guidance of a mentor who has been where you're trying to go. Confide in a friend who truly celebrates your wins, but also challenges you to grow when times get tough. These are the individuals who can keep you on track without sapping the energy you need to carry out your vision. Remember, your dreams of power, they have a kind of magic that springs from deep within you. And that magic can be fragile in its early stages. It's like a flame. You've got to shelter it from the wind so it can grow. If you keep telling everyone, everywhere, what you plan to do, you risk exposing that flame to gusts of unintended criticism or skepticism. Over time, that flame can weaken, flicker, and maybe even die out. I urge you to think carefully about where, when, and with whom you share your vision. Ask yourself, will this conversation add fuel to my passion, or will it blow it out? Be meticulous about what you reveal and who you reveal it to. And let's be real. We also have to recognize the intention behind our sharing. Sometimes we share because we're seeking a quick hit of approval, that digital pat on the back that says, go, you. But that kind of superficial validation won't sustain you when the path gets difficult, when the naysayers get louder, or when self-doubt creeps in at night. The dream you carry was given to you for a reason. That reason isn't to garnish Instagram or Facebook with likes. It's to develop your character, to contribute something meaningful to the world, and to leave a lasting impact. Don't betray that purpose by giving away your progress prematurely. So the next time you find yourself itching to tell someone every single detail of your plan, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this going to strengthen my resolve or diffuse it? Is this person truly in my corner? Or are they just another passerby with an opinion? We do not owe it to the world to announce our next move. We owe it to ourselves to protect it and nurture it until it can stand on its own. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and watch how much stronger you become when you guard your vision until the right moment. If you do this, you'll find a profound sense of control in your own journey. You'll discover that maintaining a dignified silence can be one of the most empowering acts of self-respect you can practice. Now, I want to lead you to a second revelation about why you should stop telling everyone what's going on in your life. Oversharing can weigh you down with unnecessary baggage, while silent progress lifts you higher without the extra load. Have you ever noticed how you feel after you spill personal details to someone you barely know, or when you catch yourself venting to a social media feed that might not even be paying attention? There can be a sense of relief, but often it's followed by a vulnerable emptiness. It's like you've handed off a piece of your heart to people who don't have the capacity or the desire to carry it with care. And this is not just about negativity from others. It's about the emotional burden you place on yourself when you feel obligated to keep everyone updated on your life's narrative. We live in a world that rewards instant sharing. Got engaged. Post it. Got promoted. Share it. Lost your job. Better let the entire community know so they can either shower you with sympathy or judge you from afar. And here's the irony: the more you share, the more you feel pressure to continue sharing. That pressure can become a burden on your heart, your mind, and your spirit. If you're constantly reporting every twist and turn, you're more likely to dwell on the external reactions than on your own internal growth. Your primary concern shifts from, am I genuinely making progress, to how will people respond to this update? That shift in focus can be toxic, and because it replaces your personal journey with a performance, your self-discovery with a show. I recall a conversation I had with a friend who found great success in a creative field. Early in his journey, he used to post about every small milestone he achieved, from finishing a new script to getting a call back. Initially, it made him feel proud and seen, but over time, he realized that he was spending more mental energy tracking likes and comments than honoring his craft. His mood began to hinge on other people's reactions. If he didn't get the response he wanted, he'd question the value of his work. Eventually, he reached a tipping point where he decided to go underground. He stopped announcing every step and started working quietly, diligently, wholeheartedly. The result: he made leaps in his career without the constant weight of external validation or critique. He found that his creativity soared when it wasn't entangled in the opinions of the masses. When you keep certain aspects of your life private, you free yourself from the obligation to perform. You transform your journey into a personal, sacred process rather than a public spectacle. Imagine yourself climbing a mountain with a heavy backpack. Every time you share details of your struggle or your success with people who aren't truly invested, you're adding stones to that backpack. You accumulate the weight of their judgments, their advice is solicited or not, their skepticism or even their envy. Before you know it, You're trudging uphill slower than ever, weighed down by opinions that do nothing to help you rise. The journey becomes exhausting, but when you hold your own counsel and walk at your own pace, you might find that the climb is more manageable, even liberating. You're not carrying the burden of outside noise, so you can listen to your own inner voice, the one that truly knows your path. This doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself completely or turn away genuine support. Rather, it means you can be selective about what and how you share. Share the joys with those who will genuinely celebrate you. Share the sorrows with those who will genuinely comfort you. Seek counsel from those who have walked the road before or who have a vested interest in your well-being. Let everyone else remain respectfully outside your inner circle. The less you carry on your shoulders, the more agile and resilient you become. You retain the freedom to adapt, to pivot, and to evolve without feeling like you have to issue a public statement every time you change direction. And here's another piece of this puzzle. The energy you invest in oversharing is energy that could be spent on real growth. It takes energy to craft posts, to respond to comments, to explain yourself over and over again. It takes emotional bandwidth to handle criticism or to correct misunderstandings from people who might not even matter in the grand scheme of your journey. By conserving that energy, you can channel it into honing your craft, exploring new opportunities, or simply finding balance in your life. This is precious energy that should be fueling your mission, not fueling the endless cycle of posting and reacting. So please stop for a moment and ask yourself, is my desire to tell everyone what's going on in my life helping me climb higher, or is it adding weight to my backpack? Am I truly free when I share, or am I chaining myself to the judgment of others? The next time you feel the urge to overshare, think about the emotional baggage that might come with it. Envision the lightness you'd feel if you kept your steps sacred and your heart guarded. I promise you, there is real power in that kind of quiet progress. You move faster, you breathe easier, and you cultivate a deeper, more genuine confidence in your own ability to forge your path. And when the time comes for you to show the world your accomplishments, your success will speak far louder than any premature announcement ever could. Now, let's bring all of these threads together. We've talked about the importance of safeguarding your dreams to preserve their strength. We've explored how oversharing can weigh you down and rob you of the joy of genuine progress. So where do we stand, and how do we move forward from here? This is the moment where I challenge you to take radical responsibility for your own life story. Think of your life as a book you're writing, page by page, chapter by chapter. If you reveal every plot twist before you've even penned it down, you rob yourself of the element of surprise. You give away the climax before your story has the chance to build, to gather tension, to truly captivate. And let me tell you, and your story is worth preserving, worth protecting, worth savoring until it's ready to be shared in all its glory. So I ask you, are you ready to embark on a new chapter where sometimes speaks louder than words? Are you prepared to harness the power of restraint, to hold your dreams close to your chest until they're strong enough to face the light of day? Right now, I want you to revisit every instance where you felt drained, judged, or disappointed because you shared something personal too soon. Recall that sting, that regret, that I shouldn't have said anything moment. Each of those experiences was a lesson pushing you toward a more mindful, more discerning path. Accept that lesson. Embrace it. Let it fuel your determination to step into a more private, more purposeful way of living. I'm not telling you to become a hermit. Human connection remains one of the most profound joys of existence. But here's what I am telling you. Choose your circle wisely. Share your triumphs and challenges with those who've earned the right to hear them. And resist the urge to prematurely broadcast every intention to an audience that might not appreciate the significance of your journey. Think of your life as a garden. Would you invite just anyone to trample through it, plucking the flowers before they fully bloomed? Or would you carefully select who gets to visit, making sure they understand the care, the attention, the love you've invested in cultivating something beautiful? And your dreams, your progress, and your setbacks are like delicate seedlings. They demand nurturing, time, and often privacy to flourish. When you guard the details of your journey, you create a personal sanctuary where growth can happen organically without the interference of external projections. This sanctuary allows you to fail in peace, to learn in silence, and to rise without the chorus of external commentary. It's here that you build resilience. It's here that you learn to trust yourself, to calibrate your inner compass, and to find confidence in your decisions. And once you've grown strong in your own right, once your roots run deep, that's when your story is ready to meet the world. That's when you share from a place of mastery rather than insecurity, from a place of genuine accomplishment rather than the need for applause. But how do you begin creating this sanctuary in a world that clamors for more of your personal information? Start by setting clear boundaries. If you're on social media, decide how much of your personal life you're comfortable making public. Consider creating private circles or groups for close friends and family, people who truly add value to your life and respect your boundaries. If you feel the urge to post a lengthy update, ask yourself what you're hoping to gain. Is it validation? If so, find a healthier source for that validation, perhaps from within or from a mentor who knows your journey intimately. If it's accountability you're after, set up a system with a trusted confidant instead of thousands of online strangers. Next, practice the art of pause. Whenever you feel that rush of excitement or despair that makes you want to share, hold off for a moment. Take a deep breath. Reflect on what sharing will do for you emotionally and practically. Give yourself 24 hours. Often, once the initial surge of emotion subsides, you realize that the urge to share was fleeting, and you're better off focusing on the actual work that needs to be done to move forward. Also, consider the value of intentional offline relationships. In a world saturated with digital noise, cultivate face-to-face connections, or at least genuine one-on-one conversations with those who matter. The intimacy of a real conversation, without the filters and curated images, can ground you in your truth more effectively than a dozen social media interactions. By focusing on a smaller circle, you create deeper bonds that are actually equipped to handle the gravity of your dreams, your struggles, and your victories. Remember, guarding your story doesn't mean devaluing it. On the contrary, it means placing a higher value on your journey by choosing carefully who gets a glimpse of it. Your path is not a spectacle. It's a sacred quest that deserves the utmost respect and admiration. And that respect must start with you. If you treat your dreams like a treasure, others will too. Or at least you'll be less concerned with how how those who don't matter perceive them. There's incredible freedom in that mindset. It unchains you from the need for constant approval, freeing you to pursue your goals with unbridled commitment. Let's circle back now to the heart of the matter. The ultimate cost of oversharing is the loss of alignment with your own vision. When too many voices weigh in on your path, you can lose sight of where you intended to go in the first place. By choosing to be more private, you reclaim your path, your direction. You affirm to yourself, I am enough. My goals are valid. My journey is mine to shape. And once you internalize that truth, you become unstoppable. You cultivate a sense of grounded confidence, an inner fire that doesn't rely on the fickle winds of public opinion. That fire, my friend, is your rocket fuel. It propels you forward no matter who's watching, who's commenting, or who's trying to tear you down. Yes, it might feel unfamiliar at first, maybe even lonely, to hold things close to your heart. But that's the beauty of in that solitude. You learn to stand in your own power. You learn that your worth isn't measured by how many likes or comments you receive, but by the depth of your belief in yourself and your purpose. And as you step more fully into that belief, you start to shine in a way that's undeniable. It's a quiet, steady glow rather than a flashy, short-lived spark. People might wonder what changed about you. They might sense your newfound strength, your calm, your resolve. They might even ask, why don't you share as much anymore? And you can smile because you know that in preserving your story, you've unleashed a force within you that's far greater than any applause from the crowd. So I urge you now, embrace the power of quiet progress. Stop telling everyone what's going on in your life. Recognize that privacy can be a fortress where your dreams are sheltered until they're ready to emerge. Brilliant and unshakable. Realize that not every chapter needs a public reading. Some chapters are meant for your eyes only, for your reflection, for your growth. And trust that when the time comes for you to share the climax, it will be far more impactful, far more beautiful, because it wasn't rushed or diluted by premature exposure. It will be a testament to your strength, your patience, and your unwavering commitment to the life you are building. Today, I ask you to take a stand for yourself. Protect your flame, guard your dream, and honor your journey. Choose silence when you're unsure. Choose discretion when you're vulnerable. And choose to share with intention rather than out of impulse. In doing so, you make a powerful statement. You declare that your goals, your story, and your spirit are worthy of reverence. That, my friends, is how you truly stop telling everyone what's going on in your life, and in that sacred space of quiet determination, you find the freedom to become everything you were destined to be.